Beautiful people of YouTube, my name is Sckullie and welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays, getting that much needed rest and time away from work. God knows we all need it. Now, I've personally never been much of a Christmas spirit kind of guy, but any day I'm not obligated to come into work or socialize with other people is Christmas to me. So I guess we can celebrate it for different reasons. I digress. Ladies and gents, I like to cover topics and hobbies that I have a deep interest in, and today is no different. We're going to talk about a game that is near and dear to me, and no, it's not RuneScape this time. So, if you don't mind, let me paint a scene for you. It's dark. Dimly lit lights of orange, red, and yellow surround you. As the creaking of your spacecraft begins to intensify, a sudden burst of light flashes before you, demanding your attention. The hum of your engines begins to wind down, and you recognize this light as a star. And like that star, you are one of many in a seemingly infinite sea. A sea of mystery, a sea of war, a sea of wonder. This is Elite Dangerous. I'm covering this topic today to express how this game makes me feel, to talk about the kind of things myself and so many other players have experienced within the last few years, and perhaps even shed some light on portions of the game that could use some improvement. 2 years ago, one of the biggest in-game events took place. After a failed attempt to eradicate Thargoid presence in our galaxy, Thargoids being an insectoid hive mind alien race, Pandora's box was open. 8 signal sources were detected outside of human-controlled space, and they were closing in quickly. No one knew what was going on, and there was like a genuine sense of panic in the air. No one knew if they were safe. Turns out the truth was far worse. Later, it was discovered that those 8 entities rapidly descending in our direction were Thargoid Titan motherships, and they weren't happy with us. You know, with the whole exterminate thing we were trying to do. The concentration of Thargoid interceptors started to climb. Players all over were getting shot down. It was chaos, and 2 weeks later, it happened. They arrived. Oh my god. That is amazing. Wow. It's hard to express the sensation of fear I had when getting to see one of these for the first time. Not in a bad way, more of a fight or flight kind of way, because it was dark. And those dimly lit lights of red, orange, and yellow surrounded me. As the creaking of my spacecraft began to intensify, a sudden burst of light flashes before me, demanding my attention. And the hum of my engines began to wind down, and I realized I didn't recognize these lights. And like it, there were many others. At that moment, the Second Thargoid War began. The Titan motherships made homes of 8 different locations within the human bubble, and all chaos broke loose. Fleets of Thargoid interceptors wreaked havoc on systems, destroying station after station. So we did the only thing we knew. Find people to fly with, and shoot some aliens. until this point, I have never been a part of an in-game event that felt so massive. Everyone, people from different walks of life, coming together for one common goal. Honestly, it's something you only see in movies. But here it was, unfolding right before me, in front of my very eyes. I was in my own little movie. Slowly and surely, we answered their war cry and took back the systems that were rightfully ours, slayed Titan after Titan, and just for the record, if you play this game and never got the opportunity to see one of these things explode, you really missed out. It's a fireworks show that both inspires fear and hope into the hearts and minds of the players watching. Which brings me where we're at today. And it wasn't until recently where the final Titan hovering over Earth fell, restoring peace for at least the moment in our war-torn region of space. Glory to mankind. I want you guys to understand why I'm sharing this story with you. This game has nothing but unspent potential, and when this game shines, it really does outdo its competitors. But let's get one thing out of the way. No game is perfect. I would be delusional to claim so. But it doesn't change the fact that what Frontier Development has here is a massive gem just waiting to shine. And unfortunately, that luster that fans like myself are seeking always seems to be outside of arm's reach. A game that was up until recently plagued with unfun, meaningless grind progression received another rework. The rework itself may not be the be-all, end-all solution, but it's a step in the right direction. At times it seemed that the main focus of the game was about grinding to obtain that upgrade, rather than getting that upgrade and enjoying your time with it. Whether it was to draw out in-game time so the suits up top would notice, hey, I'm a game, or if it was for lack of content altogether, we'll never fully know. But what I do know is what Frontier Development is doing now is something that the community has wanted since day one. And I'm sure the statements above resonate with many players. With recent updates, we've seen the in-game grind time to obtain things that you want come to a semi-reasonable state, just generally allowing upgrades to be much more obtainable for players of all schedules. And now we even have something to look forward to in the future with the colonization update. An update that promises to give us the ability to own our own systems, build our own stations. Admittingly, I realized some form of this was promised with the Odyssey update that came out. I'm just glad FDev finally is getting around to it now. But with that said, there are problems with this game that I want to address. One of the problems being ship modification is clunky and slow. If you want to go in the station quickly to rebuild a ship for a certain thing that you're doing, it one takes forever, and two, if you need to pull something off of a ship to put on another ship, you have to find a replacement for that one module to put on that ship, so you can, it's too much. Sure, yeah, I could easily say overhaul the system. Why not give us the ability to make pre-saved ship loadouts so we can get in and out and back into the action as fast as possible. Another big issue with the game would be the inventory system. Ships don't have individual inventory systems. Storing items in this game is a complete hassle. In fact, I didn't realize how valuable having something like a bank was in Elite Dangerous until I bought me a fleet carrier. Which brings me to my next problem. Fleet carriers. For me, the worst feeling in all of gaming is being obligated to play something to keep things that you should just outright own. I'm referring to the upkeep cost for fleet carriers. In fact, you could actually avoid making improvements to the inventory system if you just got rid of fleet carrier upkeep costs. The thought process being that, sure, I may not be able to save items now, but I can play the game and work up to getting a carrier and have my own personal bank later. Last but not least, and maybe this is just beating a dead horse, I bought this thing specifically for Elite Dangerous because at the time, Elite Dangerous had one of the best VR experiences of all time. And in fact, you know what? It still does. Around the time that Odyssey was announced, I had bought me a VR headset to get back into Elite Dangerous and enjoy the VR experience of Elite Dangerous, which is phenomenal. You can imagine my disappointment when I realized that there was no VR functionality to on-foot gameplay. It is something that really disrupts the flow of the game and takes away from the grandeur of the world. Sure, not everybody uses VR, understandable. But for those who do, and like playing your game in VR, it really is a kick in the pants. In the off chance that Frontier Development ever sees this video, I want you guys to know that I think, personally, you guys have an amazing title on your hands. The fans of your game only want to see you succeed, but the lack of refined content and features just make it seem like you're no longer interested in Elite Dangerous. At least that's what I'm assuming. Hopefully not the case. But with all that said, Frontier, I want to thank you for creating a title that I could absolutely lose myself in. That one saying that goes, born too late to explore Earth and born too early to explore space, rings true to me. As a fan of cosmology, this game has given me the opportunity to experience, maybe in some form or fashion, what it's like. So with all that said, that is going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please drop me a like, and hell, if you're new, stick around, maybe subscribe. I really appreciate it. My name is Sckullie, and I have so much editing to do.